friends. It's another week of virtual children's conversation. I decided to switch things up a little bit this week, and we're not going to read a Bible story at all. In fact, I'm not even going to crack open my Bible. I have a different book that I'm going to crack open. Next month, we're going to be talking a lot about Heifer International. I don't know if you remember from last year, but August is a Heifer month at our church. And we're going to be talking a lot about people who are really different from most of us here, from all of us really, here at First Congregational. They're going to look different. Their life experiences are going to be completely different. And they're going to have different needs and wants and stuff than we do. So to introduce sort of the topic of making connections with people who maybe are a little bit different, I'm going to read one of my favorite stories. Ready for it? It's Dr. Seuss, the Sneetches. In fact, I once dressed up as a Sneetch for Halloween. It was quite excellent. All right. I don't know if you guys have read this story or not before, but it's one of several that Dr. Seuss wrote about the differences that we can see don't really matter. So, in the long run. So here's the story, okay? The Sneetches. Hold on. Yeah, no, it starts like that. Okay. Now, the Starbelly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. See? There's the little itty bitty star on his belly, and this one doesn't have a star. But because they had stars, all the Starbelly Sneetches would brag. We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches. With their snoots in the air, they'd sniff and they'd snort. We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort. And whenever they met some when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. See? It's not really, you're making them kind of sad there, huh? When the Starbelly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. Again, they're sitting there looking sad. When the Starbelly Sneetches had Frankfurter roasts, or picnics, or parties, or marshmallow toasts, they never invited the plain belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then, one day, it seems, while the plain belly Sneetches were moping and doping along on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. My friends, he announced in a voice clear and keen, my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed. Then, quickly, Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, You want stars like a Starbelly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard. So they clambered inside. Then the big machine roared. And it clonked and it bonked and it jerked and it barked and it bopped them about. But the thing really worked. When the plain belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon thars. So there they are going in and popping out with stars on their bellies. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. We're exactly like you! You can't tell us apart! We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your Frankfurter parties. Good grief, groaned the ones who had stars at the first. We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst. But now how in the world will we know, they all frowned, if which kind is what, or the other way round? See? Here we've got the new stars, and there we've got the old stars. Then up came McBean with a very sly wink, and he said, things are not as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you, again, the best Sneetches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches. He upped the price. And see, now all these guys with the new stars are like, wait, what? We were supposed to be equal now. And here he is, upping the price on them. Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, and you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs. And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. So there you go. He's really raking in the money there, isn't he? Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about. They opened their beaks and they let out a shout. We know who is who, now there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without. Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of that day on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and bout again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through, until neither the plane nor the starbellies knew whether this one was that one or that one was who, or which one was what one or what one was who. What a mess, right? What a mess. Do you think it was worth it? Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. So here he goes. There's all their money. And look, it doesn't matter whether they have stars or none. They are not happy. Right? But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. That day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars, and whether they had one or not upon theirs. See? They finally learned that they can be friends even though they look a little bit different. And that is the end of that story. So why am I reading Dr. Seuss in Sunday school, right? I think that a lot of Dr. Seuss's stories have some really good lessons in them. And I think that the Sneetches is one that has an excellent lesson in it. The Butter Battle is another one that has a really good lesson, and maybe I'll read that to you. in some other virtual children's conversation. In fact, it was reading that to Gabe that gave me this idea for this week. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're all different, right? We're all different. And we're going to be learning about some people next month that are a lot different than us. But that doesn't make them worth any less than us, right? Sneetches are Sneetches. People are people. It doesn't matter if we've had different life experiences, as long as we can give each other the respect and the love that everybody deserves simply because they're people, I think the world would be a much better place, right? And that always starts with our own actions. We can't control what other people do, but whether you're a Sneetch with a belly, with a star on your belly or none, I would really like it if you could try to make a difference with yourself and how you view other people. And as we talk about these people that Heifer International serves, really think about what makes them so different from us. And I think that in the grand scheme of things, you'll see that they aren't. They have different lives, they have different experiences, but ultimately they're still humans, they still have families, they still love each other, they love their neighbors, and that's what's important, right? I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.